This episode is brought to you by the Black to School Project. We are bringing Black businesses to college campuses across the United States. Feel free to support the cause. Go to ourpilot.com/Black to School to donate today. Let's get to work.
Cool. What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Benji, aka Be Conscious, tapping in. Shout out to the brand, Our Pilot, Culture X, Black to School. Listen, there's an important week coming up, Atlanta Tech Weekend, and I have a very special guest joining me here today to just talk about her brand and how she is adding into the hustle and bustle of the week. Let's get into it. Who do I have sitting here next to me right now? Are you?
Hello world, my name is Scania Floodstyle. I am the CEO and founder of HBCU Made.
That's a bet. So HBCU Made, I'm assuming that means you go to an HBCU.
Absolutely.
Where'd you go?
The Virginia State University. Go Children.
So they all put the V in front of it. I gotta know who's like the original V. Like who's the like.
I don't know about the other V's. I'm just gonna talk about my HBCU. Okay. And yes, the land of Troy. That's where I'm from.
Cool. So HBCU Made, right? So is this an app, a website? Like what does it do?
It is community.
I love that. Community is my favorite word. That's great. Okay, so community, what does it do? Does it just connect to create communities on different campuses, or like how does it work?
Yeah, that's a really great question. So what we're creating with HBCU Made is really just a community across all of the HBCUs. I think kind of even to your question, who was the original V? We're all the illustrious HBCUs, right?
I like
so how do we create community across all of our institutions so that we can really just be one? So yes, we may choose to go to Howard or Virginia State or Spelman, but once you graduate, how do we bridge the gap within those networks to kind of create one big network? Like people go to Harvard just for the network, right? People go to Yale and MIT because they know that they're guaranteed a job opportunity or they're guaranteed access. And so HBCUs have that same level of access, but we're not utilizing it. And so how do we kind of put that together? And that's why I say HBCU Made is not just an app. It's not just a website. Those are vehicles, but ultimately we're gate.
I love that. No, that makes sense. I mean, I know that like we're in the heart of Atlanta, right? So the Atlanta University Center kind of has a small bubble of it's like 4 campuses, I think, right? So you're basically saying do that, but on like a national level.
Exactly.
No, I really rock with that. Okay, so like who could be a part then? Is it just students? Is it alumni? Is it sponsors? Like who's a part of this community?
So ultimately it's called HBCU Made because you have to cross the burning sands of graduation to be made, right? But we understand that the goal is that they do become made, right? So we focus on alumni, young alumni, and students and helping them cultivate as they kind of cross that finish line so that they have the resources and being able to connect with even more seasoned alumni to be mentors and, just to be able to provide them with the access and the information that they may not have after they graduate.
I love that. What inspired you to make this community then?
It's kind of a long-winded story.
It's story time.
It's story time. But no, I'll try to make it short. So I'll just tell you even my pain points. Like when I graduated from Virginia State, like I had a great community when I was on campus, right? And I loved my friends, loved my network. If I had an issue, had a problem, or if I was looking for a job, I can go to the career center. I could talk to my professors. They're helping me with get internships and all of these things. And when I graduated, it was like crickets. It was like, where did we go? And I moved to Atlanta. I knew a few people out here, but it wasn't the same love. It wasn't the same camaraderie. And so overall, in my years, I've always been that person to connecting. And my friends always call me the connector. And so in 2008, I'm class of 08. So in 2018, my 10-year anniversary, I became the president of my alumni association, probably like the youngest president of my alumni association at the time. And they had 10 members. And I remember the lady was like, oh, you need to write a check $60 to be a member. I was like, well, that's a check.
Right.
In
Did they
2018, I don't even know
they didn't take cash out?
No.
Bro.
They did not take
You had to write a
cash.
physical check.
A physical check.
With your hand.
With my hand. And a pen. And a piece of paper. Like a physical check. And I was like, okay, this why you ain't got no members. Like, this don't make no sense. And so I'm all about working smarter, not harder. How do we find better solutions to this? And so literally my first course of action was I created a website. And created a portal where people can log in, pay their membership dues, have it on recurring, give them access to pay monthly or quarterly or yearly. And that literally from 10 members to our first event, we had 70 members literally in less than 30 days. And 4 years later, we have, I think, in our email list, or not even our email list, like even on our group meet, we have like almost 500 people just in Atlanta who went to Virginia State. And for years, our Alumni Association, I think founded in 1969, they had 10 people.
Wow.
10 people.
Yeah, so you got them together.
Yeah.
You got it right.
So the thought process was, well, not only how do we duplicate this, right? And I realized even being part of the HBCU Alliance, that other HBCUs were having the same issues. Other alumni associations were having the same issues. How do you get the alumni to engage? How do you get them to want to connect? And so I kind of tested it out. I created HBCU Made, and it's like my tester.
Yeah.
Really was just an Instagram page, and I also created an IG page. And even when it came to homecoming, it was like, why do I gotta go to 10 different Eventbrite to go to these parties? So I talked to the promoters. I was like, look, let's just put it all on one page, on one website. Everyone can see the lineup for the weekend. They can click and choose which events they want to go to. Even created like a package, like you can buy one ticket for all events for like $150. It's kind of unheard of, right? Because usually when you get to the door, if you a guy, it's $100. If you're a girl, it may be $50. And you spent like $400 on homecoming. Even more than that, because maybe you want to get a table with your friends and all of this stuff. So I was like, let's make this easier. Let's make this process easier. So I tested out with Virginia State. We did 2 successful homecomings, 2018, 2019, and so 2020. I sat down. I was like, all right, let's do this HBCU Made thing, and that was that.
No, that's amazing. No, that's really dope. So I mean, it sounds like you have a lot that you're bringing to the table for Atlanta Tech weekend, right? Are you excited for the weekend?
I'm very excited.
Yeah.
I'm overwhelmed and excited.
No, I feel that. And I saw.
I'm waiting for June 3rd. June 3rd, where you at?
Where you at?
Like, I'm waiting for it to be over.
No, in fact. What events do you have coming up for Atlanta Tech weekend?
Yeah, so we have our mixer. That's going to be a holiday bar. I wanted to provide more value with more impact. How do we do that? Like, mixers, the happy hours, the parties, those are cool. Part of our model is bridging the opportunity gap. So we're having a hackathon. We'll sit down together in a room for 12 hours, and we're going to give you tools, ideas, like business solutions. Like, we have some